Welcome to Afternoon Party. My name is Ren Woods. I am a stand-up comedian, writer, and lunatic, I guess. Welcome to my new podcast, or should I say the resurgence of my old podcast. Listen, this is like the fourth time I've tried to start a podcast, but this time we're sticking to it. As it seems, every other time I try to start a podcast, life took me by the neck, or should I say it took me with a rope around my neck while I was actively on fire. Listen, if you are a person who's ever been actively on fire and insisted you're fine, this is probably the podcast for you. As they say, tragedy in the front, party in the back. They don't say that, I say that, but that's just a way of going about life, I guess. Yeah, life is beautiful. Let's have a time. And look, everybody's welcome at my party, okay? Come as you are, but let's not take that too far. We can't have y'all out here looking like ragamuffins. We got to have some sense of taking care of ourselves. You know, that saying is so weird to me when people are like, oh, just come as you are, come as you are. Okay, take a shower first, do your hair up. Let's not come in here looking like ragamuffins. That's a Southern saying. I'm from the South. By the way, if you're watching this and this is the first time you've ever seen me, you're like, who is this bitch? I'm from the South. My Southern accent only comes out on after I've had 2 glasses of Chardonnay, but I barely drink anymore. So it really just comes out when I'm mad or I'm really excited and passionate about something. That's how you know. Or if I've been talking to my mom on the phone, she really gets it out of me. But yeah, I've been out here in Los Angeles on the grind, on the comedy grind for the last, I've lived here for 14 years. I've only been doing stand-up 9 years. But yeah, I go back and forth between the South and LA a lot. So we'll be talking a lot about that and the culture differences and all that kind of stuff. Buckle up, baby. Actually, don't buckle. I'm such a rule breaker. I don't care if you buckle up. God. But yeah, anyway, I tried to start a podcast a bunch of times, but as it would seem, life just took me on a lot of different turns. And some people kept dying. I kept going through, losses and betrayals. And, when you're going through really, really life-changing traumatic events, it's probably best to stay off the internet for a while. And I didn't listen to that advice. And so I started getting a little kooky. And some of my friends were like, oh, you seem like you're not well. And I wasn't. And I was pretending I was well. I was trying to act like everything was fine. And I wasn't. And that's just what you do. But now I actually am fine for them. But is anybody ever fine? I don't think so. Let's get one thing straight, though. This ain't no safe space, honey. No, we don't do safe spaces. If you need a safe space, go find a gentle parent, I guess. Or I don't even know, one of those people that call themselves an empath, a self-proclaimed empath. Go find one of those if you need a safe space. If you need somebody else to give you a safe space, we need to provide you with a safe space. You're not going to like this podcast because it's going to hurt your feelings. And that's okay. Keep on scrolling, baby. But if you have tough skin or you want to get tough skin, this is the place for you. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm going to have guests on every other time, and then it's just going to be me by myself. It won't be me by myself every time, but I do genuinely like to rant. This is kind of like therapy for me because I'm not going to therapy right now, and God knows I'll probably need that shit. But I also have some really hilarious friends that I want to have on here, and I love crazy people. So if you see me talking to somebody on here and you're like, oh, they have a terrible reputation, mind your business. It doesn't mean shit. It just means I'm curious about their life. Okay. It doesn't mean we're going to sail off into the sunset together. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be hanging out with them 24/7 or if I agree with and believe all the things they believe. It's just conversations. Okay. People see you in a picture with one person on the internet one time and assume that you're like fucking each other. And it's like, sometimes, yeah, that's the case. But then sometimes it's not. People are so curious about your personal life. And I like to vibe. I have a lot of friends in this town and I enjoy talking to them, getting to know them. And yeah, but I'm not really I've been through like 17 spiritual awakenings and by the 17th one, you just feel like God is whipping you in the face with a 9-iron. You really do. While you're on a roller coaster with your hands in the air, going at full speed through a tornado. And by that time, you're just like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit about anything? Everybody is taking shit so serious. You post on the internet one thing. This is what's so crazy this day and age about stuff is I could post something about how much I love bottles of water. And somebody would be like, well, you didn't talk about Diet Coke. Do you not like Diet Coke? Well, what do you think about Diet Coke? Like, this post is about water. It's not about Diet Coke. Don't bring Diet Coke into this. It's just everything is so exhausting. And so I'm not here to preach at you or give you advice. I don't give a shit. Go ruin your lives. I don't even give my friends advice anymore because none of them listen anyway. And honestly, people on the internet, there's so many gurus giving all different kinds of advice all the time. And it's like, you just get a headache. I mean, the other day I was scrolling. It was like one person was saying one thing, and then the very next video was someone saying the complete opposite. And I was like, oh my God, my head is going to explode. And how all of y'all's heads have got to be about to explode. Because what are you talking about? And it's like, both of those people weren't necessarily wrong, but they also necessarily weren't right, because I can tell you all day all the things that I've done. It's like, okay, that may work for me, but it might not work for you, and that's okay. And so I think it's better to kind of encourage people to follow their own intuition about things, because if you sit by yourself for a while with no distractions, no phone, no TV, no internet, no friends in your ear, no family in your ear telling you you should do this or you should do that. If you really sit with yourself, your internal compass will lead you to the decision that you're supposed to make. And I think if you're being pulled into something, if you can't explain why you're pulled into doing something, but you just have this feeling like, I have to do this, I have to see that person, or I have to work at this job, or I have to do this. It's like an internal burning sensation in your soul that you have to do something. I think you should follow that. And who gives a fuck what other people say? I think that's why the world's so fucked up now, is because nobody's listening to their internal compass. If you have to ask 900 people their different opinions on what should I do, what should I say, blah, 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 you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment. Fuck. And I think I was doing that for so long, and you just get to a place where you have no confidence if you're listening to everybody else's advice. Also, who are you asking advice from? It's like, why would you ever ask a single person for relationship advice? I like to ask people who've been married 30 years, but even then, it's like, you don't know that their relationship is the happiest one. You have no clue. Everybody is projecting shit onto you. They're projecting their own personal experiences onto you. Even me. Anything I say on here, I'm projecting my own personal experiences onto it. It's up to you to be able to use discernment for what can apply to your life and what doesn't, So everybody just needs to fucking relax, honestly. I don't know. I don't want this to be a motivational podcast, and it's not, okay? I'm not Bob the Builder. I can't fix you. Your therapist can't fix you. Nobody can fix you. The only thing that's going to fix you is yourself, okay? Facing the music. And you know what they got at parties? Music, baby. It's like, look, problems that we have in our lives, are they really problems? Are we making them problems? I think a lot of people make shit harder than it has to be. They really do. And people overthink and they don't communicate. I think realizing that all your problems are just one big giant miscommunication it's a rude awakening sometimes. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is I don't know shit. I didn't ever know shit. I'm not going to ever know shit. I'm just a recovering dumb bitch. And that's all I got. Okay. I really don't know how to do life. And it's so freeing to admit that. I don't have my shit together. Does anybody though? No. I make it look easy because I'm having a good time. That's what, so people comment, they say that. I get that a lot. People consistently are telling me, oh, wow, you don't look like you've been through it. Why would I want to look like I've been through it? That's not a badge of honor. Like, I don't want to identify with my trauma. I'm so mortified for the people who sit around and they're miserable all the time. It's like when people say, oh my God, there's so much darkness going on in the world. How could you enjoy your life? Oh my God, there's just so much darkness. How can you have a good time? You know what, Becky? Because I'm not a miserable human being, Okay, I like to have a good time, and I don't make politics my entire personality. Okay, I don't defriend people because they believe different things than me. I have a curious mind. I like to explore and go on adventures. And I'm not going to be bogged down by the darkness. All right, and listen, coming from a person, I've been to the darkness 1,000 million freaking times, and I'm telling you, I don't ever want to go back there again. I don't even like looking at pictures of myself from 2 years ago. Because I'm like, God, that bitch was sad. I mean, I was crying all the time, just so sad. The only way I got into this joyous state of mind is by facing the music. I looked in the mirror and I was like, all right, bitch, nobody's coming to save you. And I've been through, I'll talk about stuff. I don't want to make this first episode negative or dark, but I'm going to talk about all kind of different stuff. I'm going to connect with people who've lost their siblings, their parents, and talk about grief and what that's like. People who've lost boyfriends, best friends, all that, wives, ex-girlfriends, whatever it is. I'm going to talk to a lot of people about that, drug addiction, betrayal, public betrayal, which is very hard, all kind of different stuff. I don't want to fixate on the dark stuff, but those are the kind of things I want to talk on and touch. But it's really, this podcast is about having a good time. I mean, sure, maybe it could help you, but really the point is just to entertain y'all. Okay? I think if you continue to talk about your trauma, your healing journey, you get attached to that identity. And then you can't actually heal from it. It's like if you continue to talk about yourself as like a single person, then you're just going to keep being single, you know, if that's your identity. You know, if you keep saying like, oh gosh, my brother died, which my brother did die. It's like, I don't want to be known as the girl with a dead brother. Am I just going to be stuck being sad about that the whole time? If you have something, you're like mental illness, like, oh, I'm so mentally ill. We're all mentally ill. We're all crazy. But if you continue to talk about it like it's a personality trait, then you'll keep yourself trapped there. It's like depression. Saying the words, I'm depressed, is so bad to say that, because then that means that you're telling the universe that you're going to keep being depressed. I would never use that terminology. You always say like, I'm feeling not myself today. I'm going through a temporary bout of depression. That's better than I'm depressed. Because it's like, how are you going to get over it because you're attaching yourself to that identity? So anyway, I don't want to do that. I want to make this light and bright and fun because that's the phase of life I'm in right now. But I'd be remiss not to mention all the dark stuff. I mean, I feel like I've been to hell and back 9,000 times. And I'll probably go back there again, if we're being honest. Because that's just life, you know? More people will die. More people will leave my life. More people will come into my life. It's whatever it's going to be. It's just life. But the key is you got to ride the waves so you don't drown. And that's what I feel like I've mastered. Like sometimes I feel like my only skill and talent in this life is bearing my soul. Really and truly. I can bear my soul and then I can make light of it. I make death jokes. I make jokes about the most absurd things, drug addiction, all the things that I think people are afraid to even talk about. But here's the thing. I don't think that you're healed from something until you can talk about it. If you're still getting offended by stuff, that means you're not healed from it. And honestly, if you're getting easily offended often, you're giving your power away to the person that said that thing that offended you. Why would you ever do that? I don't get offended by shit. I probably haven't got offended by something in 5 years. Ever since I woke up one day and was like, fuck this awful state of mind I'm in, who even gives a shit? Things really started to look up for me, honestly. Because I just told myself in my mind, like, I choose to have a good time. I choose to live life to the fullest. Not to skip around. I'm so ADD and I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But I will skip around a bunch of times and I'll forget what I'm talking about. But we can come back to it. We can circle back. We can piggyback off of that. Oh God, Mom, that just reminded me. Working a corporate job would be like a death sentence to me. I could never do it. God, my sister works corporate. She's always like on a Zoom call, piggybacking and circling back and running it back. And I'm like, how do you not lose your mind doing this? I mean, I guess we'll have to ask her. Maybe she has. Anyways, I'll tell y'all this one story about my mom when I was in 7th grade. FOMO, I feel like, is a big thing for people these days where they feel like they're being left out of things and they get like their feelings hurt if somebody doesn't invite them to something. And the way I look at it is like, I think that if you're aligned with certain opportunities and experiences, then they will happen for you. And it's up to you to choose whether or not you're going to take advantage of what's being put in front of you or not. You know, there's people who throw their lives away sometimes because they keep getting these opportunities and they're just not rising to the occasion. And sometimes the opportunity comes back in a different form, but sometimes it doesn't. And so it's really, really up to you. But I'll say, anytime I've never been invited to something, it's because I wasn't supposed to be there. And I never get my feelings hurt for not being invited to something. Literally ever. Like, I don't have that in my makeup. If I see somebody else doing a fun thing or having a great time or whatever, and I'm not included, I'm just like, wow, good for them. Hope they're having a blast. Because I love myself and I'm confident and I don't need to be where everybody else. I'm focused on myself and what I've got going on. Like, I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. But obviously I wasn't always like that. You sometimes you do get your feelings hurt when you're not included. You know, all your friends are together and you're like, oh gosh, wish I could do that thing. When I was in 7th grade, I changed schools. I went from private school to public school. I begged my mom to go to public school because I wanted a different experience. I felt like all the kids at private school were the same and I was bored. You know, go figure. I love chaos. So I got there and I was a new girl and I didn't get invited to, they all had arranged to have this party and I was the only girl that didn't get invited. And I came home crying. I was like, Mom, I've got my feelings hurt. I wasn't invited. And my mom looked at me and she said, we don't cry when we don't get invited places. I was like, we don't? I mean, she was so stern with me. She did not coddle me. She did not give me a hug. She said, let me tell you something. Those girls are losers. And granted, none of them are losers, by the way. Like, I still talk to some of them. Like, I ended up becoming friends with them in high school. But she was like, those girls, who gives a shit what they're doing? We bring the party wherever we go. That probably wasn't even a good time. They're having a miserable time. And of course, you know, I'm like seeing the pictures that they have on their like digital cameras. They're like AIM chatting about it, you know, or whatever we did in 7th grade. They come back to school on Monday and they're talking about what a fun time they had. And I'm like, but my mom said you guys didn't have a fun time. But it wasn't about that. She was like, you're not supposed to be there. Maybe those girls would have done something that you weren't comfortable with. Or maybe you're aligned with a different group of friends. And, you know, maybe that is the truth. And if I had to listen to her better, but I let that situation hurt my feelings so bad. And I swear to God, after that, I never got my feelings hurt again if I didn't get invited somewhere. I didn't. Because she said, if you want to have a party, you invite people over. You have a party then. You can invite people and create the situation. You can't sit around and wait on people to invite you places. Create it for yourself. And so I feel like that was a very good lesson. My mom was a good mom. She instilled that confidence in me, and the confidence did not come overnight. I mean, I fought it for years before it actually came. But that was a really, really good foundation for me as I moved through life and I came through certain situations. I mean, you know, moving to LA, I didn't know anybody, nobody, but I could talk to a brick wall. I know that much. And so my personality and charisma has gotten me a lot further than my resume. I'll say I'll never have gotten a job or an opportunity from going into an interview or sending my resume or emailing someone blindly. Not one time. Every single job opportunity I have gotten is because I met a person and they liked my personality. I'm not even joking. And I've had some jobs that I was very underqualified for. But they just like my personality, and I proved to them over time that I can do the thing. And I also have very good work ethic, and I have that mentality, which is like, no is never the answer. You know, I say yes, and I'll figure out how to do it later. Okay. I remember I was an assistant one time. I probably was like 22 or 23. My boss came in. He was like, can you install this surround sound system? And I was like, what? Huh? Electrical wiring. What? Had no idea. Figured it out in like a day and a half, I think. I was like drilling shit in the walls. And that's me now too. I just figure shit out. If somebody says no, I'm like, oh, they don't mean that. That was a maybe. Maybe eventually. I just don't take no for an answer. And you know, maybe that's kind of toxic sometimes, but I'm like, no, baby, I'm playing the long game. playing the long game over here. And sometimes that's very frustrating because I feel like patience is one of my life lessons. I have had to start over so many times, but it's a part of the reason why I really wanted to stick this podcast out and keep doing it. Well, for one, I'm trying to get followers so that I can, just being upfront and honest, I want to tour with stand up, and you can't do that without a following. So that's one of the main things is you got to have a following. So I got to get the clips. And I do like to rant. Like, I like doing this. This is fun for me. I think I just put it off to doing it again because I was going through so much and felt like I was getting swallowed by life and smacked in the damn face every which way. But we Gucci now, baby. I'll say yes. It quite felt like I attract so much chaos in my life. I really do. And before, I was on a roller coaster, okay? And I'm off that specific roller coaster, but I feel like I'm still at the amusement park, But this time, last time, it's like I have my hands in the air, but they're like in the cart, We're having a good time, but we're not on the Tower of Terror anymore. We're on a different, calmer roller coaster. Because otherwise, if I wasn't at the amusement park at all, I'd be like a little bored, But because I do love, I just don't think I'm meant for that like white picket fence traditional lifestyle. Now, I'm very traditional in the sense where I do want to get married, I do want to have kids, all that kind of stuff. But I need some action and some excitement along the way, Like, I think being a comedian sort of fulfills that need for the chaos, because then I don't have to be destructive chaotically. It's like a productive chaos that fulfills that curiosity and sense of adventure that I need. Because if I just had a 9 to 5, like I know some people do it and they love structure, but I personally suffocate with structure. If I start doing the same thing, like a morning routine, like, okay, Mark Wahlberg had this video one time where he was like, oh yeah, like at 3 a.m. I get up and I eat 2 raw eggs and I get up and I work out 2 hours. I tried to do a routine like that and I was so miserable and I didn't even like look that good. You could just like see it all over my face. I was just not well. I was not well. So yeah, I'm just here to admit, there's people all over the internet that are like, you need to drink water with lemon when you first wake up. You need to journal for 10 minutes every day. And this is my morning routine. I see those videos of those morning routines and I think to myself, getting a matcha, journaling, okay, it seems healthy. And I've gone through phases of my life where that has legitimately been my morning routine. But how is that sustainable for forever? Eventually, I just get bored by that. I need something different every day. So I guess it's good that I'm in the career path that I'm in, because eventually I will be touring all the time and I'll be going here and there and going on adventures, during the day, which is so fun for me to experience new things. So I like that. But yeah, back to the amusement park situation. We're off that roller coaster. I'm not throwing up off the side of it. It's not going upside down like it was. But the roller coaster is kind of we're on cruise mode now. We're still having a good time. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever leave the amusement park because I think I'm made of chaos. And sometimes it feels like my family belongs in an episode of Jerry Springer. Oh, and I'll say that too. Jerry Springer used to be my favorite show growing up, and I miss it. I really do miss it. I follow this account on Instagram, this like clips of Jerry Springer. I don't know why my mom let me watch that show, but she did. She let me watch that show, and it was my favorite. So but I want to get in touch with y'all and connect with people. I genuinely love connecting with people and talking to people. So if y'all have stories you want to tell me, like your favorite party story, any family drama stories, I mean, we got tons of those. You can reach out to me on my website. It's www.ren-woods.com. I'll put it in the description box though. And I have a form on my website and you can fill out, you can put your first name, your last name, I think your email, and you can write me a message, tell me a story, I'll talk about it. You can ask me for advice, but like, please, this is for entertainment purposes only. I might, just because I'm feeling wacko that day, give you totally not correct advice. And that's fine. It's up to your interpretation. Like sometimes I'm just in a joking mood and I'm not serious. But then sometimes I might say something really insightful that you could make use of. But yeah, I'll try to answer your questions and whatnot, just because I genuinely do love connecting with people. Honestly, if you get triggered, good. I'm glad you got triggered because you probably needed that shit. Getting offended is for pussies. And I know I already talked about it earlier, but when you get offended by something, what you're saying is that person who said that thing took your power. Because if somebody says something so wildly inappropriate, but you choose not to let it affect you, that means you're in your power. But if you're still getting offended by it, really, and honest to God, look internally as to why that offended you. It offended you because there's probably some truth to it. I hate to be the bearer of, I don't like to say the bearer of bad news. I hate to be the bearer of honest news. But it's usually how it goes. The only thing I get, if somebody makes a comment to me and it hurt my feelings, it's because I believe that. It's because I believe that. And you can change your beliefs. You don't have to believe something. I used to get so offended when people would make a comment about me being dumb, because I got big tits, whatever, like, oh, you dumb bitch. Like, did they really think I'm dumb? And I used to feel like I had to prove to myself and to other people that I was intelligent. I don't care now. I know what I am. If somebody wants to call me dumb, I mean, honestly, they might be right. I just let them think I'm dumb. At a certain point, you just go through too much. We're all going to die anyway. Might as well have a good time. Might as well enjoy ourselves before life takes us by the throat and chokes us out to death. No, that was dark. God, Jesus. Yeah, I'll say this. Like, you can't keep a bad bitch down for long. I'm like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I had to get back up. I fall down so many times. I feel like I've had to restart so many things, tons of times. But you can't keep a bad bitch down for long. And if you stay down, that's what they want. That's what they want. If you stay sad and you let all this trauma, like, I have daddy issues, my daddy issues, that's what, okay. I think explaining the things you've been through, that's great, okay? Listen, I am an overanalyzer. I will overanalyze some shit to death, okay? But at a certain point, you gotta shut the fuck up and just do something about it, okay? Because we can keep talking in circles. We can talk. It's not gonna do shit. You gotta do something. So you got your daddy issues. Okay, all right. Whatever. Everybody has something. Doesn't make you any more special. Just is what it is. So you can choose to live as a person who's fucked up all the time and blame it on your dad, or you can become an adult. You can realize that, okay, like, maybe my dad was horrible. He wasn't what I needed him to be. My dad's great, by the way. Like, this isn't about my dad. I'm just talking in generalizations. That way people take things out of context. You have to like clarify everything these days. That's what I hate about the internet. Someone is going to take some shit I say out of context. It's going to happen inevitably. It already happens. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how the biscuit bakes. That's how the butter melts. I'm Southern, so, we love our butter. Anyways, traumatize your dad back. Honestly, traumatize that motherfucker back. That's how you, like, I see posts sometimes where, people will make a post about a certain person and be like, I just wanted to warn everyone about this person who is having bad behavior and you know what my first response, and maybe this is toxic, but my first response when I see all these people talking about how a person was a narcissist or this person treats everybody bad, so like beware. I'm like, I would hit that person with a brick before they ever tried to harass me. So I'm good over here. Like, you do realize that, like, you can be in your power and choose who does and says what to you by changing yourself and the way you react to things. There's always outliers, of course, but like, just don't stop being stupid. That's what I'm saying. We're taking responsibility for ourselves on this podcast, and we're not sugarcoating shit. Don't worry though, I'm not going to get rid of fake pleasantries because I do like connecting with people and I enjoy a conversation with a stranger in an elevator. Although I don't know if I'm capable of small talk because people will just start telling me their life story. Like the other day I was in an elevator and this one was like, I asked her how she was doing. I said, oh, I love your purple outfit. Like, you're so beautiful. How are you today? She said, oh, I just got diagnosed with cancer, so not well. It's like, that's so jarring, but like, that's just a day for me. That's just a regular day for me. I'm constantly getting things like that out of people on first meeting. So yeah, part of me thinks I'm incapable of small talk, but then it's like, I actually enjoy when people fake smile at me because I think it's nice. That's one thing I miss about living in the South is I don't even know many of my neighbors in LA. I try to speak to them and say hello to them, but some of them, they're not that friendly, and that's okay. They don't need to be friendly to me. People complain. They're like, oh, LA's so fake. Oh, LA's so blah. It's not that fake. It's fake if you're fake. Los Angeles is fake if you're fake. I'll tell you that. But it's not fake if you're emitting genuine energy. I have so many good, genuine friends here. I don't have no fake friends, honey. If you're moving weird, if you're being a little dishonest, I feel like you're doing shady shit, bye, sayonara, see you later. I will cut a bitch off in 2 seconds. I'll block someone so quick because I don't care. I don't need negative energy in my life. I am at a peaceful state of mind. Okay. And in being at peace and like unbothered, like I am genuinely pretty unbothered most of the time, but I still, you can't just suppress all your feelings and be like, everything's dandy and fine all day long, because that's just not reality. You know, that's just not, we got to feel our feelings. Okay. Like get mad, throw a brick, punch a wall, go to the gun range, get your anger out. No, please God, don't do that. Especially if you're not responsible. But, I don't know. Those like anger places where people break furniture, I think that's a great idea. Hit your cheating ass husband with a baseball bat. Whatever you gotta do, girl. Yeah. You gotta feel those feelings. You gotta let a bitch know that you'll clock them. Okay? Don't be fooled. We're unbothered, we're at peace, but if you try to disrupt it, you can be put in your place. You can't let people walk all over you. There's a difference. You got to stand up for yourself. You don't got to over explain it. Just like one sentence and then move along with your day. Just keep it moving, baby. We're Gucci. Keep it moving. That's the thing. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. You don't got to stagnate or think about it 1,000,001 times. Although God knows that is something that I struggle with. Overthinking. If y'all have any tips and tricks on how to stop overthinking, that's what I need to work on, because that I try all the time. I really do. I try constantly, and it's just that's the one thing. I will overanalyze some shit to death. But I think part of me just needs to understand. So I do enjoy unpacking somebody's childhood traumas and stuff, because I'm like, okay, that helps me understand them. I understand how they communicate. I understand how they do things. But then it's like, we don't have to dwell on that. It's an explanation, not an excuse. That's what I was trying to say. It's an explanation, not an excuse. You can explain, okay, this is why this, but it's not an excuse. You can't be a shitty person because your parents got divorced at 12, all right? You can't be a shitty person because your brother died and you miss him and you're just angry at everybody else who has a living brother. It's ridiculous. So anyways, we're not dwelling on the negative stuff here. Okay, honey? This is for positivity and a good time, but we'll get angry and rant out some shit every now and then because we can't keep it suppressed. All right, I'm on my healing journey. Okay, like I'm healed. I feel healed, but we can go back to being crazy in about 2.5 seconds if necessary. And I encourage you all to do the same, because it's just fake. It doesn't feel real and authentic to just be peppy and happy all the time. My degree is in broadcast journalism. That's the number one reason why I didn't go on to be a news anchor, because I was like, damn, I have like real ass emotions. And if I'm expected to do this all the time, and then what if I'm like really happy and they're like, wow, there's like a fire burning. And it's just like, how do I tell a bunch of people that a fire burned 5 houses and 2 people died, but I'm like having a great day that day? Like, you can read my emotions on my face, I feel like. And it just felt like I don't have the personality for that. That stressed me out so bad when I was working in a newsroom right out of college. Anyway, I've also had like 9,000 jobs, so we'll get into that in some later episode. Yeah, I'm stable, I'm hydrated, but I'm still a recovering dumb bitch. But honestly, the thing is, it's like, if being a dumb bitch is so bad, then why am I thriving? Why am I thriving? Tell me. We can let the people know we're still crazy. I'm still insane. I feel like it's in there, you know? I do this thing where I'm like, if I'm starting to feel myself about to act up, I go like 1, 2, 3, you get like slower and slower. You like have to get to 10. It's like something an old therapist told me that I had to do to regulate my nervous system. God, learning to regulate your nervous system is probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But I swear to God, that's how you get out of survival mode, is regulate that nervous system. Sometimes you just don't need to say your piece until you feel calm. Learn that the hard way, God. I learned that the hard ass way. Did I already say that I love crazy people? I love crazy people. Oh, they're so entertaining. I cannot be friends with boring people. If y'all see me on the internet with people and y'all are like, oh, she's friends with that person, she's friends with that person, and I'm in pictures with them or whatever. If it's just one picture, please don't assume anything. But if it's a bunch of pictures, if you see them with me repetitively, you can assume that I deem them as a fun, good ass time. Doesn't mean I think they're a good person. It just means I think they are a fun time and they're fun to be around. That's the thing. You can have friends for different things in life. You know, like I love crazy people and they're so fun to be around because they're entertaining. And boring people, they just bore me. I like that's all you got. Like, but unfortunately, crazy people, they got aura still. They do. They have swag, and that's fun to be around. So I'm just being honest. Just being honest. Keeping the peace doesn't mean you have to like just never speak to chaotic people again. It just means you have to know internally how to set boundaries with those people. I have certain friends where I have a good time with them at night doing things, but then I would never like have them in my house. There's a difference. You can be friends with people and do things like adventures and go explore, but you don't need to tell them your secrets. You can just have a good time with them. You don't need to be so in depth with everybody. That was another thing when my brother died. I went through this phase where I thought I had to get rid of every like surface level friendship I had if they weren't giving me the depth and the raw honesty. I was like, well, got to get rid of them. I'm not feeling like I relate to them. That's what they don't tell you that about grief is you go through a period where you don't relate to anybody. And it's very confusing. It's like an out of body experience of mourning. And, you know, when you get all spiritual and shit at first, if you're not experienced spiritually and it's new for you, like it was for me, you go through a phase where you think you know better than everybody else. And let me tell you, you don't. God will humble your ass real quick once you start thinking like that. And he did, honey, he did. I have friends who, they have no depth, and that's fine. I don't talk to them about certain things. And that's how you keep it happy. I don't see them all the time. I see them here and there. I wouldn't consider them my best friends, but they're still my friend. I'm not going to not be friends with somebody because they don't align with every single little thing that I believe. You know? It's silly. It's stupid. It's so stupid. You need friends for different things. And that's okay. You don't have to hold people accountable for responding to you all the time. And, oh, they weren't there for me. There were certain friends when my brother died that they could not talk about death with me because it made them so uncomfortable. Some of my best friends. Okay. That's just not their thing. I talked more about grief with strangers than I did my close friends in the first year that my brother was gone. And sometimes that's okay. It doesn't mean your friends are bad friends. People are so crazy about friendships. Like, oh, my friend doesn't like every single one of my posts. They're a bad friend. No, they're not. People have shit going on. I just really don't think it's that deep for everybody. I really, really don't. It's insane. How do you have time to sit around and worry about all the people that are not supporting you? Maybe they supported you in a different way. I mean, it's different if you feel like a friend is just like hate watching your shit and not supporting you. It's like, whatever. Get rid of that friend then. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who really show up for you in everyday life, but just because they're not sharing your shit on social media, maybe they don't agree with it. I post unhinged shit all the time. You think I expect my friends to share everything I post? Absolutely not. I posted one thing. I had like 15 of my friends message me back and go, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Sorry, I can't publicly like it because I might get fired from my job. Okay, good. Glad it made them laugh. I don't need the validation of all my friends liking all my shit, sharing all my shit. I think that's mentally ill. You guys need to get a fucking hobby if you're worried about that shit, okay? And that's just the honest to God truth. How do you guys, you must be so stressed out all the time. How do you even sleep at night? Just worrying about shit like that. Promise, you'll be so much happier if you just shut the fuck up and stay in your lane. Think about yourself. Think more about love yourself more, I guess. Who even knows? But yeah, you just have to realize it's just not that deep. Okay? Take yourself out of it. I think it's very narcissistic to need everybody to like all your shit all the time. That's probably the universe telling you that you need to believe in yourself. It doesn't matter what everybody thinks. It only matters what you think. And I think that's the universe telling you that you didn't believe in yourself. If I ever catch myself worrying about, like, oh my gosh, like none of my friends have commented or liked anything. If I ever catch myself doing that, I'm like, ooh, that's because I'm not really 100% with it myself. If you're not 100% with it, why would anybody else be? And you're lying to yourself if you think that you are and you're still worried about your friends liking your shit. Because if you really, 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 really believed that it's great, you wouldn't need their support anyway. Sorry, that's just the honest truth. Again, you're going to get your feelings hurt on this podcast if you don't have a strong internal makeup. And that's fine. I'm willing to be that for you. Listen, I've lived with drug addicts my whole life. Oof, and I used to be an enabler. So now that I'm past that, we don't enable around here, honey. No. We keep it real and we hold people accountable. If you don't want to be accountable, then that's on you, baby. It's not on me. So, yeah, I'm not getting on any hate bandwagons. I make decisions for myself. Nothing pisses me off more than when a bunch of people start hating on one thing on the internet. I'm like, and then you ask them why they hate it and they can't even tell you why. Do you realize how stupid you sound? You're insane. So you won't catch me being on any hate bandwagons on here. I'll get on a joy bandwagon if a bunch of people like something. I'll be like, oh, that's cool. But even then, it's like, I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. And people can't really change my mind about it. I can get my mind changed if I hear enough evidence. If I'm curious, I got to do a lot of research before I change. But yeah, I think my mind used to be very moldable. Is that a word? Moldable. My mind used to be very malleable. I think that's a better word. When I was younger, in my 20s. It's not anymore. No. And that's the thing. If you get offended very easily, that what you're saying is that your mind, I could influence you pretty easily. I could. So you're giving your power away. It's not good. It's not good. All right, so let's go back to the problems thing. Problems don't really have to be problems. You can look at a problem as an adventure, okay? Like instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Why is it happening to me? It's like, this is happening for me. Anytime something happens and it is not going my way and it's so ridiculous, I'm just like, okay, this sucks, but you know what? In 3 months from now, this will be a funny story. I look at everything as just a funny story for the future now. Because everything possible has happened to me. Nope, didn't happen to me. It happened for me. Sorry. I see, you say the wrong thing sometimes. You got to get out of that. Didn't happen to me. It happened for me. But I've seen so much dark things in this life. I was so down in the darkness that it was impossible for me to even know that light existed. And I crawled myself out of that damn hole by myself. I went through one of the most traumatic, jarring betrayals a couple years ago. Oh my God. I didn't get out of bed for like 4 days. So bad. I didn't eat a single thing for 4 days. And I remember on the 5th day, I got up and I was making toast in my house. This was only 2 years ago, by the way. I was making toast. I was so sad. And I woke up. I just kind of looked at the wall. Nobody was available to talk to me. All my best friends were either working with their husbands. My family was out of town. I think my mom was on a work trip. My dad was with somebody else. I think he was with his brother. I think my other siblings were not available. Not a single one of my friends was available. I texted I think 20 people. I have a huge support system in my life. I can call anybody at any time. But on this specific day when I was so sad and I had been locked in my house by myself, nobody was available to talk to me. And I just remember sobbing and being like, feeling so alone, like I was on an island by myself and nobody could get to me. I couldn't get to anybody else. Like I was stuck and trapped and I didn't know how to get off the island. But it wasn't an island. It was a hellhole in the darkness. And that was like such a turning point for me because I was like, I think the universe is doing this on purpose. I think the universe made all of my friends have to work on this specific day. They made all of my family be out of town with their own lives. Anyone who was ever important to me in my life was busy on this day. And it was like a day when I could have talked to anyone close to me because I was so sad. And I just remember looking in the mirror, looking at myself and being like, buck up, bitch. You are all you got. You can either choose to dig yourself out of this hole or what? Die? I mean, that was like the only other option, I guess. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody win the power of my feelings. Like, okay, you did all these awful things to me. Okay, well, that's fine. But I'm going to be better because of it. I'm not going to sit there and dwell and just make everybody feel sorry for me because of this shit that happened. Who gives a fuck? Honestly, who gives a shit? We don't even need to talk about it because who gives a shit so much? Everyone goes through shit. But I was sort of just feeling sorry for myself. And granted, it was very fresh, but it's like at a certain point, like you get like a month or two or maybe, okay, 3 if we're being fair, like really generous. And then you just got to get the hell up. Just got to stop your crying and make something happen with your life. And so that's kind of how I approach everything now. And nothing really phases me anymore. I don't get to a point where I let people I don't even give them the power to be able to hurt me like that anymore. And that's very freeing. And it doesn't mean you avoid your feelings. It doesn't mean you push people away. You still are open to experiencing all that there is to experience in life. But you don't give your power away like that. And I'm not void of pain. I still experience sadness. I still experience heartbreak. I still experience anger. All of the, I guess we classify them as negative emotions. I experience those still. And it's frustrating because I get mad at myself sometimes because I'm like, I'm not supposed to feel like this. But it's like, you can't help how you feel. You feel how you feel. But then it's how you deal with it afterwards is really what matters. And yeah, so that was really big for me. Just looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, well, bitch, ain't nobody coming to save your ass. So you better buck up and get to it. And that's what I've been doing. And I feel like I've finally reached a point of stability and consistency in my life that I don't even think I knew what a boundary was 2 years ago. That's hilarious. I genuinely did not know what a boundary was. I didn't know how to set them. Nobody ever set them with me. I never set them with anybody. Legitimately had to figure out what a boundary was, what it means to have them. And I hate that word. I don't even use the word boundary, but it's more about protecting your energy, cutting your energy off from things and situations and people that don't serve your highest good. You know, if I start to realize somebody is affecting my productivity or my aura, bye. And maybe they just got to go bye-bye for temporarily. It doesn't mean you cut them off for forever, but you just can't give people the power to keep you down. You can't give energy to those certain situations. You know, my brother dying is very sad. And I think about him, my friend dying, very, very sad. I've had so many deaths and well, I want to talk about that on a different episode because I'll do a whole episode about grief. But those things are sad and I think about them all the time. But my brother wants me to live life. He wants me to have a good time. We're having a time. We're always having a time. That's the thing. I say we're having a time, not we're having a good time, not we're having a bad time. Because if you put the pressure to say we're having a good time, it's it's too much pressure to have a good time. But if you say we're having a bad time, you're already kind of saying you're creating a negative atmosphere before it even has a chance to happen. So just like, we're having a time. You don't know if it's good or bad, but we're having a time. It's like ambiguous enough that you can still have the best time. Like when you go out to a party and you have these expectations of it being like the best night of your life, it's always the worst night. You end up crying. It's so bad. But if you go out with like very low expectations, then you can be pleasantly surprised. And so that's kind of how I'm trying to go about my life now, is just not having any expectations, but having standards, but not expectations. And then that's beautiful. That's beautiful, guys. And another thing I'll say about problems is every problem is a party guest. Some of them show up late. Some of them show up completely unannounced as a +1 and overstay their welcome. Some of them spill barbecue sauce on your white Italian expensive sofa. But, you know, I'm the DJ at my party, okay? And none of these lunatics are getting the aux cord. It's like your attitude is the music, all right? As long as it's good, we're having a good time. We're vibing, but you control the aux cord at your party. Don't let anybody else have the aux cord at your party. I don't know if this metaphor is like too lame or not, but it's really a good way of looking at things. Like the music is your attitude. You choose it. You pick it. You want to vibe with the music? Pick good music then. All right? And at your party, nobody else is choosing the music. If you can't fix it, have fun with it, baby. But yeah, I really want to take dark situations because pain is universal in the same way that love is universal. Everybody experiences it. Everybody knows what it's like. And really make it about a party, because it is. And I'm not saying that those dark things, like, you know, having to plan my brother's funeral wasn't a funny experience. Nothing about that's funny. Nothing about my brother dying is funny. Nothing about drug addiction is funny. However, being able to pull out the humor in those situations, that's how I survived. Sorry, you get offended by these jokes. My brother's in heaven telling God you're a pussy. Laughter is a survival skill, and I don't want to let the darkness swallow me. So I have to laugh at these things. I have to have a sense of humor. So this podcast is about entertaining people. Okay, I'm going to say dumbass things sometimes. Who cares? Get over it. Let's move along to the next thing. You know? We're all learning and doing things. It's just, that's the problem. Don't hold people to such a high standard that when they mess up, you crash out. It's very silly. But yeah, those dark things, like, they're not funny situations, but putting a funny spin on them is how I survived them. That's how I got over it. That's why I'm okay with all the dark things that I've been through now, is because I'm able to laugh at them. If I know a couple people who have been through some very similar stuff that I've been through. Trust me, we find each other. I'm trauma bonding. Listen, my 3 best traits now that I have acquired some new talents over the past few years, okay? And my 3 best traits now are checking people into rehab, trauma bonding, and cracking jokes about death and inappropriate dark things. So, listen, I'll trauma bond with anybody. We find each other. Dark people, we find each other. But I do know some people who they cannot laugh at these things like I can. And I feel a sort of duty and purpose. Like, that's what gives my life meaning, is to be able to help these people that are in mental hell be able to laugh at their situation. Because if I'm able to do it, you can do it. Truly, truly. I believe in you, darling. I believe in you. I do. I really do. Please, God, write me. If you're watching this, write me and tell me a story. I love it. I love it. So I have more stuff to talk about too. So I don't feel alone. Don't make me feel alone for all the shit I've been through. No, I'm kidding. Whatever you guys want to do. I love Jerry Springer type stories. I'll tell y'all some. I got my first guest episode is with my friend Benedict Polizzi. And I told a story about how the FBI called my cell phone because of some dumbass shit somebody in my family did. So we have some unhinged shit to talk about. I refuse to let the darkness swallow me and spit me out. It will not be doing such a thing. And I will maintain my fabulousness throughout it. And y'all should too. Don't give in to these people that tell you that you should be feeling guilty for enjoying your lives, because somebody got theirs taken. It's not your responsibility to save other people. There's a quote somewhere, I'm going to butcher it probably, but it goes something like, be careful before you step in to save somebody because you could be interrupting their karma. That really stuck with me because, as I said, I used to be a bit of an enabler. My intentions were well, but sometimes compassion leads to enabling, and sometimes people don't need empathy. They need a kick up the asshole. And you have to know when. You honestly have to know when to give somebody empathy, and you have to know when to choke someone out and beat them until they do the right thing. No, I'm kidding. It's not your responsibility, okay? People got to save themselves. They got to do shit on their own. You can't step in to save the day. You can't be a babysitter. You can't be a mommy. You can't be a daddy. People got to, they're grown-ass adults out here, okay? You can't teach somebody how to communicate. You can say things, but it's not your responsibility, and you can't take that on. I think when you step in to save somebody, as I have done too many times, that you end up taking on their karma, and then your life becomes a mess because now you've taken responsibility for this darkness that this other person, they got to learn the lessons one way or the other, and you're making it easier for them, so they're not learning their lessons. And that's a very hard thing to do because if you see somebody you love suffering, oh my God. It's so hard. I'm like, oh my God, it's so hard. Because you can talk to them, you can be there for them, but you cannot completely be their savior. And it goes back to me having to look in the mirror when I was going through such a transitional period after I had experienced 3 back-to-back hard betrayals. Hard. Looking at myself in the mirror and telling myself to buck up, bitch, was the best thing I ever did because really nobody was coming to save me. And you can't be the person that saves everybody else either. So just be responsible for yourself. That's the thing. It's like once you detach from being so worried about everybody else, but also you're taking responsibility for yourself and you're doing the things you need to do, then you can enjoy your life again. But I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, every person who's not enjoying their lives, they're either trying to overgive in their lives or they're being so selfish in their lives that they're just being reckless. It's one or the other, and you got to kind of be somewhere in between. All right, I think that concludes the first episode. I say the first, but it's really like, I don't know, when you've restarted a podcast so many times, it's just kind of like a restart. It doesn't feel like the first episode because I've done so many, but the reboot, the relaunch, whatever. It's a party. It's a party if you're here. It's a party if I'm there. That's really the thing. You can make a party wherever you go. Have fun doing mundane things. I live my life. My life is a constant party because that's just how I approach life. It's always a good time. And I come from a family of addicts. I'm very sensitive to this. I don't mean party in the sense, please don't go take 10 tequila shots. Why do I keep saying tequila? Tequila. Dude, that doesn't mean go take 10 tequila shots. That means, sometimes a party is just dancing around at the grocery store. Whatever. You get the point. Just stop. Just be unhinged, honestly. Stop being so uptight. Get the stick out of your damn ass. You're not fun to be around when you are offended all the time. Always be, I'm offended. I'm triggered. Good. Your ass needed to get triggered. That's a sign from the universe saying you're taking shit too seriously. Triggered. Getting triggered is really a blessing. Y'all got to start looking at shit positive. All right, that's enough. Well, I have so many crazy stories to tell y'all. I have so many of my good friends coming on here that are really going to just have so much witty banter with them. It's going to be really fun. We're not going to take shit too seriously. And yeah, the goal is just to entertain y'all. Maybe you need a break from your day. Maybe you need to experience a party. You don't got enough partying in your life, and this can be your party. Hey. All right. Yeah, that's enough. All right. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the episode today. I really appreciate your support. I wanted to give a shout out to my friends at Melrose Podcasts. That is where Afternoon Party is filmed. Melrose Podcast is the premier podcast studio in all of Los Angeles. It's located off of the famous Sunset Strip in West Hollywood, right across from Chateau Marmont. They've got top of the line equipment at an affordable price. It is the most amazing studio. Everybody feels like family here. And if you don't know, now you know, I actually produce many other entertainers and creators podcasts right here. You could have a chance to work with me. Hit the studio up on DM on Instagram, or you can go to the website. It's www.melrosepodcast.com. Email address info@melrosepodcast.com. Hit them up, let you know you heard about it from Afternoon Party. In addition, I work with tons of other brands on campaigns and content across all platforms. If you are a brand interested in working together, you can of course hit me up directly on my website. I will also leave that in the description box below. That's www.ren-woods.com. I got a little form on there, and I think the email's on there as well. So hit me up, and make sure you hit Melrose Podcast up if you want to start a podcast. This is the place to do it. I'm telling you, best of the best. Top of the line equipment. Everybody who works here knows what they're talking about. We film, produce, edit, audio engineer, color correct, do all the things, cut social media clips. It's a really great team of professional people. They have integrity, and it's just a fun place to be. All right, share this episode to that friend who has to stick up their ass and needs to lighten up. Leave a 5-star review, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how much you love the episode. And remember, as long as you're here, so is the party. We'll see you next time.